What is up, YouTube? Four Leaf Cards here. Hey, thanks for clicking. We're driving down the road. I see some tractors out plowing ground. We're out in Ohio. That is a good sign that crops are growing in, and that makes me happy because that's what we need to feed the world. So anyway, got a little response here for my buddy Jason, Mr. Fisherbike, and he was asking a little bit about why we collect what we collect and what makes us click on a video and keep watching it. So I'm going to try to answer that in the same kind of style that he gave us driving down the road. And also just want to throw out there, I'm sorry if I haven't been commenting on my videos. It's baseball season. I'm coaching Little Leafs team and traveling for work a little bit, and I have got the tiger by the tail, let me tell you. So trying to get comments down and actually trying to watch videos has been tough, although when I get big long drives like this is actually when I watch most of my videos. Just throw it up there, kind of like Jason, you know, on the way to work, just throw it up there and listen to it. So a lot of you guys I listen to more of like a podcast, whether you know it or not. So I really appreciate channels that give good descriptions of their cards. But anyway, because I can't see them while I'm driving. But anyway, like Blue Jacket 66, I gotta pull over, man. Every time that guy puts a video up, I just gotta pull over because I can't not watch, you know. So you know there's gonna be something good there. But anyway, how I got collecting is probably a fairly common story, right, for all of us guys that are in our middle ages, I guess. You know, our parents grew up in the 50s, you know, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever. And, you know, they all abused the heck out of their cards. And then, you know, they left them in a shoebox, and their mom threw them out, cleaning out their old room or whatever. And so they all, whatever was left had some value, right? You know, especially the Hall of Famers and the, obviously the key rookie cards and stuff. But, so, you know, my dad was part of that generation, and, you know, he looked at that and said, man, I had those cards in the 50s. If I had just kept them, you know, we'd be rich. And so, you know, he encouraged me to collect cards, but he wasn't really into them. He was like a gearhead. He was into cars and stuff like that, but he encouraged me because I was a big baseball player, loved baseball. Really, I got the love of the game from my aunt. I probably don't thank her enough for that. She probably doesn't even know it, to be honest with you. But my dad wasn't much of a baseball player. Well, neither of my parents were athletes, which is really funny because my brother and I are like mega athletes, 3-season. You know, I had some college scholarship offers. I actually turned those down. Just, you know, I wasn't going to be a professional or anything, but turned them down. But my mom would play catch with me, but she was a lefty and didn't have a lefty glove, so she was trying. But it was my aunt who would kind of on weekends take me down to the local playground and play catch with me, and she taught me how to pitch. I mean, it's crazy. She was kind of a tomboy, and she taught me how to pitch and would watch games with me and stuff, and really tell me about the players and what they were doing. And I don't think by any means she was the greatest player or even a superior coach, but she was passionate about it. And, you know, sometimes you just need a little passion, right? So so really she was the one that kind of got me into collecting cards. And I venture even to say she might have got me my first pack, which would have been in '87. So that was the big McGuire, Canseco, the wood grain tops, man, just brings back memories. And that was kind of like my first cards. And I picked up a couple of '86s, which were cool, man, back in the day. And I always thought you could get a pack 86 and get the Bo Jackson and the Will Clark, and I didn't realize that came in the traded set. So I didn't really realize that until like much later on in my collecting thing. I still thought, wow, 86 is cool, but it still is cool. But anyway, so I think she probably got me my first pack or encouraged my parents to get me packs or whatever. and really 1988 tops and 89 tops. She helped me build those sets. We got binders and we put them in, and we really were buying a lot of packs. Every time we went to Kmart or the grocery store, they were right in the aisles. And I honestly believe that they need to do that again and get these kids back in it. Every aisle at Walmart should have, I don't care what it is, Big League or opening day, the single packs for like $1. And run wild, man. Every kid should get one every time they go to the grocery store. That would be like a perfect world for me. But of course the adults would probably ruin that. But anyway, so she really pushed me. And I had a cousin that was somehow involved with a card shop, and I think he helped out a little bit, finding some stuff. And my barber had a card shop at the barber shop. I mean, we're talking junk wax, man. There was cards in gas stations, at barber shops, everywhere. But I had a barber that had singles for sale. And man, I remember I picked up a Mr. June, Michael Jordan Mr. June, and I saved up. I was a baseball umpire one summer, and I picked up, it was like $20 back then. It might be back up to $20 now with all this crazy stuff. Well, maybe back down, who knows. Maybe you can pick them up for $10, but I picked up that Mr. June card, man, and I thought I was on top of the world. But anyway, at the barber shop of all places. But anyway, so my aunt really got me into collecting 88 and 89. And then I just got busy. As I got older, I got busier with stuff, and we ended up buying the set. We just bought the set. Like, I got the set maybe for my birthday or something, or Christmas, and it was in a box, but we weren't really, so like I hand collated the set, but once it went in the binder, you don't touch it, because those are going to get put away. And when you turn 50 and you got kids, you know, you're going to be able to pay for your kids' college with your 89 and 88 top set. Well, we all know how that worked out. But anyway, so my dad was like, don't mess the cards up. You got to keep them good. And so I got to play with my doubles. And actually, I still have a big old 5-row box of doubles and some of the cards that I was collecting back then. And I've been through it a couple times. I haven't fully gone through it all the way, but so that's kind of where it started. And I was very much a set collector, and then maybe a little bit of singles, but I never had enough money to buy the Griffey Upper Deck and all the really hot cards. I just didn't have a lot of money, and so it was those, like, whatever they were back then, 25-cent packs or 50-cent packs or whatever at Kmart and whatever, the grocery store. So that was kind of it. I don't have any really cool stuff from my collecting because it was just all common top stuff. And then as soon as I got old enough and I really was umpiring a lot, I was starting to save for a car, so that money just kind of dried up for me. And then, like, probably like everybody, man, the strike went on. You know, I was playing baseball. I loved baseball, but I kind of just lost the collecting bug for a bit. And again, I don't tell this too often, but in 2007-ish or 2008, I was done with college, got my first job. I was living with my brother. We kind of reconnected, and we bought some cards. Now when I do something, I'm like all in, and with my hobbies, I tend to be all in. I learn about it, and I get good, and then I'm out. Like, I do all kinds of weird hobbies, you know, painting, the artwork, I can do wood burning and glass etching and all kinds of things. And I kind of get into something, do it really good, learn the skill, and then I move on to something else. I'm kind of a squirrel that way, and you can kind of see that in my collection. And my brother and I connected over cards in 2007 and 8. We still have a connection over cards, but he hasn't been buying. He got into basketball pretty hot here in like 2019, 2020, and then kind of fizzled out, you know, just because it's getting just silly. But so I got back in in 2017-ish, and some of you might have heard that story about a buddy of mine at work, and we drove past a card shop that was going out of business. Well, that card shop's still going. That's the one when I go down and hang out with John, Wade Boggs fan. And that kind of reignited it. We bought some junk wax cards and some packs, and we had a 6-pack of beer on the tailgate of the truck and traded cards like we were 10 years old. It was pretty damn cool, and I was hooked again. And I kind of started dipping my toes. Of course, the thing had changed, and so I didn't know what to collect. And the guy at the card shop down there in Pennsylvania is like, hey, what do you like? And I was like, I don't know. I like all kinds of stuff. And he put me on Ginner. And so 2018 Ginner was the first hobby box that I ever bought. Really, new stuff. I had bought a couple boxes of junk wax just for nostalgia purposes. And I chased that Billy Ripken 89 Fleer hard for a little bit. And but I got into this 2018 Ginner, and I was like, wow, this is like, I like the old school feel of it. I love history. I think a lot of us have that connection, wanting to know really about the history. And Ginner kind of just looks like it looks like Ginner from the 1800s. And that really hooked me on to like the new stuff. And I decided to build that set. And then it just started coming, like gallery. I built the 2018 gallery set. I got a bunch of 2018 Topps Update, all the hot rookies and everything. I mean, that was a good set. It was hard not to get into that. And I did that, and I feel like I got burnt out. I was buying every release. I was buying a hobby box or a jumbo box and spending a lot of money, having a great time ripping it. I love ripping cards. I just love ripping cards. It's fun, but it gets expensive, so I've kind of tuned that down a little bit. And obviously the COVID thing and the flippers, and it was hard to get retail, and I like the retail format because it's like $20. So it's, you could go to the bar and get a couple drinks, or you could buy a blaster box, and to me, I get more value out of ripping a blaster box. So I'm into modern. I love it keeps me connected to the game, even more so than watching the games. I like being able to hold it and touch it. So there's something about that. But I'm a collector at heart, and probably a lot of you guys that are watching are collectors. And Pepino's like, why do you collect? I'm a hoarder. Well, you can ask my wife. That's me. And you guys probably don't know all my collections, but I mean, I collect a lot of stuff. I don't really want to admit it, but I'm probably a little bit of a hoarder myself. And I just like having a piece of history. So for me, as the modern thing kind of burnt me out and I got back into thinking about the history, I really love oddball stuff. I love old stuff. I love 1800s. You guys probably, if you watch my channel, you've seen some of my 1800s and early 1900s fish collections, the Arm & Hammer, the Ginner fish. And I just like knowing that somebody got that like 100+ years ago, and it's still here with us. And so I kind of view myself as a curator of history, and my Wilbur, you guys, if you've heard my Wilbur chocolate story, man, that just gets me really excited, especially that American flag one, man. Like I've only ever seen 4 of those, and it's just damn cool to have one in my collection that not many people have. And it's a history, like I've been to the chocolate factory that those came from. And so I love the connections to history. And what's kept me in the hobby and kept me collecting stuff, and again, I'm a squirrel a little bit, but really what's made this stick is the people. So I think by now, if you watch my channel, I always say collect to connect. I really mean it. The best part about the hobby is the people. And I kind of at one point here, as all this weird COVID stuff and the flippers were getting me mad and all that stuff, I kind of decided, to me, it's more important about the story, the people, the stories. And so I try to collect things that connect me to something. Now again, I got my Red Sox and I got my Patriots and Bruins and Celtics and stuff, but I like things that have a connection and a story. An Olympian, or weird, like just like hot dogs, a company that's not there anymore, or a gum company that wasn't there. And I really view it as having a piece of history that is not there anymore. A lot of those companies that were making things. So to me, that's really cool, and I try to aim for those. Now, and again, my collection is ever changing. I think outside of my teams, you know, I love Hall of Famers because there's a connection of history there, good players and whatever. And I think those will stand the test of time, so I like having those. But I've been heading more vintage, more historical stuff. I still do some modern, but I mean, you guys have probably seen if you're watching my channel, which probably all of you know who I am, but you know, I just picked up this estate kind of collection from a person that I never met, and he passed away, and the family came to me and said, hey, you know about cards, can you tell us, you know, do we have $100,000 worth of stuff here? And, you know, kind of had to tell them that, you know, that's only if you had like 9s and 10s, if they were like super ultra high quality. And so I helped them move some cards, and then I bought kind of what was left. You know, the big cards were sending out, and so I'm kind of getting focused on the 58 and 59 top sets now. And the wonderful thing about that is I know the person that was, well, I don't know them, but I know the family, and they gave me pictures. And to me, that set, it's not about 58, 59 tops. It's about this little kid that was, you know, 10 years old building the set, never got it finished. And I really feel like it's my duty to finish that set. So, you know, so now my collection is moving towards 58, 59 tops, but it's not the cards, it's the connection to that person. So I try to make these connections as often as I can in my collection. And obviously I do this with my kids, if you've seen that, and I'm trying to build a connection with there. I mean, the little guy likes Pokemon, so I do collect a little Pokemon. I don't show it too much because I know you guys all like sports cards, but occasionally we've got some Pokemon on the channel, and that's me trying to build a connection with my kids, and that's what they enjoy, so we're doing that. So the collection moves in all kinds of ways, but the main, one of my favorite parts of my collection is my funny cards, and I probably need to show those off more, but I love photography and things that are kind of silly, and it brings me so much joy to look at those cards where somebody's just being silly or having something funny. It makes me smile, and they don't cost a lot of money. And so to me, that part of my collection is just really important because it brings me just pure joy. Just, that's like my selfish part of my collection is my funny cards, because it just makes me happy to see like something funny, like find a little picture that, you know, everybody's just throwing away all the base, and you know, there's a guy that's, you know, in the batter's box and is, you know, he's swinging at the ball and the ball's past him, you know, and it's like, here, you know, major leaguer thinks he's hitting a home run and it's a strike. You know, I just find that just really, it's not funny, right, because the guy got a strike. Well, it's good for the pitcher, but you know, that we caught that moment in time, you know, on a card. It's just really cool to me. So I love my funny cards. And I'll get on little things like my down on the farm stuff. I got a little connection to agriculture, so I got on those down on the farm cards, and man, I went crazy with those. So I can focus on things when I really want to, but it's usually short-lived, and so I'm bouncing around, much like Jason, my man. I feel you, man. I want to do all the Red Sox team sets. That's in. I got a little book too. Still building that 59 Fleer Ted Williams set, but I keep forgetting about it, and, you know, so I try to, when I go to the National, pick up one or two. I think I'm down to only needing about 10, so we may be getting close on that one, but I'm going to be focusing on 58, 59 tops, and probably some more vintage and pre-war stuff going forward. So that's kind of what I collect, and a little bit of why I collect it, but there's really not a lot of rhyme and reason. It's whatever I feel connected to. So as far as channels go and what I click on and why I watch, I mean, I've got my guys, you know, like Pepino is a must watch for me. And again, number one, and we oftentimes forget about Caesar, is guy's got an awesome collection, man. I mean, he's a serious collector. And you can tell he does it because he really, truly enjoys the cards. And yeah, we get some humor along the way. And I'm telling you, there's been days where it's like I am dead-ass tired, and I see a Pepino video pop up, and I watch it, and it makes me laugh, you know? So there's some entertainment value there, but I love Caesar because he has passion for the cards, and he's silly about it. He's having fun with it. It's not like, oh, we got to analyze every last thing about all of it and whatever. It's just for the pure enjoyment of the cards. And so I tend to gravitate towards those people. Again, I'll watch PSA reveals. Depends on who it is, but I'm not really into that. I mean, I'm happy for somebody when they get good, good grades or whatever. I've been watching more non-investor type things, but like I'm really having to deal with this estate, and I'm also selling some stamps for them and some coins, which I also collect, stamps and coins. I don't show any of that. Every once in a while we'll show the coins off if we go to the coin show, because the little guy's collecting some coins too. But for a while there I was really watching like what people are doing when they're getting things in and how they're evaluating cards, because I wanted to learn. So I always want to learn. So I want to have a pure enjoyment, and I want to learn something. So like Mangini, Rick at Vintage Oddball, Blue Jacket 66, Eric those back pages. I haven't seen him put out too much lately. But those channels I really go to when I want to see something unique and I want to learn about something. So those are all must-watch channels. But then after that, it's about connections and collecting, and like Splendid Sports with the 3 and 3. Love that series. All my guys that the Misfit guys, if they're putting stuff out, I'm watching. But it's because we have a connection. So we connected on YouTube, and this is key. Like, this is why I'm still in the hobby, is YouTube. I'm 99.9% convinced that I probably would have just gone in, did some stuff, and got out if it wasn't for the people. So those guys, anybody that is really passionate about learning or showing things that are rare, or teaching, or just passionate about their cards, like Nate, Tops 85 401, always just loving his cards, man. You can feel the enthusiasm. Just like, and I do that too. I apologize. Sometimes I'll get a card and I'll just stop and it's some dead air time, but I think that's important too. Like, I'm enjoying the card and sharing it with everybody, and hopefully you guys can feel that too. But those are the channels that I watch. So all those guys get the bell, as the Fox Crew guys say, the ding-a-ling thing. Everybody gets ding-a-ling things there that do that, and when those pop up, I try to watch them. I can't get everybody because I've got so many people now, so I don't watch every video. A lot of times I'm driving, so I'll try to hit the thumbs up, and then I don't comment. I apologize for that, but I know it helps the algorithm. But those are the guys that I'm watching. My buddy Scott. So here I am driving to Ohio for work. I'm gonna try to see my buddy Scott. And it's, I don't know if we'll try to get to Strongsville or not, maybe for a hot minute, but I got to get back for baseball. But mostly I just want to see Scott. I don't know if we get some cards or whatever, that's fine, or maybe we'll pick up one and then we'll have a story. But going to the National, it's I can't wait to go to the National again this year and just hang out. I mean, the first National I went to, I remember Mike, baseball collector, asked me, would you come to this again? Don't you think it's a no-brainer just to come to the National? And like, my first answer was like, no, like after being there for a day or two, like, no. The National, like the card show is cool, but after being there for 2 days, like just hanging out, like I'm not even sure I even need to go to the card show. I mean, you kind of have to, just because it's there. But like, that's where everybody convenes there, So to me, that's really what it's about, and those are the folks that I'm watching are all the guys that are really truly passionate about the hobby, but also passionate about each other. I mean, we got some really awesome friendships. Doing the Royal Rumble was awesome. Made some new friends and had fun with that. And that's the kind of stuff that I like on YouTube, because that's what keeps me coming back. So passion, I guess, is number one, and just like connectivity, right? So I want to learn about other people and what they connect. what they connect with, and how that connects me to them. I'm always looking for something that we have in common. So, and that's what we're doing on our brouhaha. If you haven't seen that, you know, Scott and Eddie and Tony and myself are having that contest, and the responses need to be a video that you make together with somebody else with cards that put you together. You know, so to watch all those Clemente guys get together the other day, that was just awesome, man. That was just Clemente Collector and Lou Rock and Mangini and Don and Rudog. You know, those are all guys just hanging out, talking about cards, and they all have passion for that. That stuff's just beyond awesome. I mean, beyond awesome. So I'm rambling a little bit. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed some of the little stories and whatnot that I've been throwing out there. I'm gonna exit out here and get to my hotel so I can get my work done, hopefully, and see my buddy Scott. So appreciate you guys listening. Jason, my man, can't wait to hang out with you in person, and all you other folks out there too. If we can find a way to hang out, I'm looking forward to that, because that's the best part of the hobby. That's what I always say. And I'll leave you to that. And if you guys are open to anything, best of luck to you. Don't forget to collect to connect. I can't stress that enough. It's the people in the hobby that are the best part. And as always, have an awesome day.